Well, I think that most Czechs see Poland as a dynamic country, which is at this time developing faster than the Czech Republic. At the same time, they see it as a country that, unlike the Czech Republic, has its own interests. It is a country that really aspires to be a European power. Whereas the Czechs are really happy with their status of a small country in the heart of Europe. But in general, I think that many Czechs see Poles as a very dynamic nation driven by what they see as Polish romanticism.
During previous meeting, your aim, some kind of thesis, is to describe Czech Republic as police state or corrupt. From what stems that critical opinion?
Well, we have to look in history and see what the main trends in various nations are. And if you look at the Czech nation, we see that it has a long history of political corruption, which goes back all the way to the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Even the First Republic, which was democratic, had a very high level of corruption. So one could even say that corruption has always been part of Czech political culture, and certainly wasn't reduced even during the Habsburg rule or the German rule. And then we have another tradition which is in some ways disturbing, and that's the tradition of the police state, which goes back all the way to the late Austro-Hungarian Empire. Franz Kafka and other authors would be good examples of this. They wrote about the fears of police and totalitarian state. And then, of course, after the arrival of communism, Czechoslovakia became basically a police state. And these two traditions are still present. The Czechs would like to believe that they are gone now, but I think that we see them resurfacing again and again.
Which specific mechanism should change to minimize corruption? Maybe system of financing political parties?
Well, I think there are different ways of reducing corruption. One is, of course, a much better system of financing political parties. We have a system which is full of gaps and holes at this point, and political parties can cheat. And then certainly improving greatly the system of awarding public tenders to businessmen, which now is again full of gaps and can be abused. And finally, the Czech Republic is the only country in the European Union that still doesn't have a civil service law. So we really need, as quickly as possible, to adopt a good, efficient civil service law that would professionalize the civil service and depoliticize the civil service.